Good afternoon. Thank you very much for joining us in this forum. I'm Director General of Public Communications of SMG, Park Jin-young. Today I'm going to talk about Seoul as a brand, consideration and resolution on the direction and challenges of Seoul as a city brand. City branding, there are many difficult definitions, but in a nutshell, it's about the sum of expectations visitors and citizens have for a city. London, New York, Paris, Sydney. Today, we're going to discuss ways for people around the world to enjoy Seoul with these beautiful and flourishing cities. But just like these beautiful cities, Seoul suffered from a crisis from the end of February this year, and we're experiencing a repetitive cycle of relief and crisis. Movements are limited, face-to-face contact must be distanced. So we need to rethink the concept of city branding. Previously, the indicators for a city brand is divided into 6: global position of a city, attractiveness as a physical space, infrastructure and accessibility, entertainment, experience such as adventure, and economic and educational benefit. All of these indicators are valid only when people can travel around the world. So it's pre-COVID indicators. And it sees cities as a destination brand. Historically, looking at cities as a destination is inevitable. Xi'an of ancient China, Constantinople and Rome, to New York of the modern times. Cities have been formed and developed by people gathered for opportunities and trade. So from a traditional perspective, when we look at the brand of Seoul as of 2019, in terms of the position, global position and infrastructure, we're at the mid-top range on the chart. But the attitude to visitors, environment, scenery, and investment attractiveness, we didn't do so well. So, why is Seoul being undervalued in some areas? Respondents and evaluators, I believe, do not have insufficient knowledge about Seoul, I think. That is why. But based on these traditional indicators, we need to make efforts to enhance knowledge and understanding of Seoul. But at the same time, responding to the changes of the society, we need to prepare for new indicators. So we need a double-pronged, two-pronged approach. So that's because of this situation. Anytime the traditional functions of a city could be disconnected and paralyzed. We're living in an era of COVID. In this COVID era or post-COVID era, what are the new competences for cities? New competences can be divided into 3. Even during the pandemic, the city must be able to maintain its functions, and it needs to be able to maintain cities' connectivity with other cities, and we also need resilience of functions after a pandemic. I believe these 3 competences during COVID and post-COVID will determine the brand of a city as important factors. In terms of these factors, let's evaluate Seoul. First of all, maintaining the function. During COVID-19, how much of the city function were maintained? When you look at this picture, It was taken at the height of the pandemic. You can see general elections being implemented without a problem, which has been widely covered by overseas media. Let's look at overseas evaluation. Deep Knowledge Group, a global knowledge consortium, has been continuously updating the safety indicator of countries against COVID-19. Number one is Germany, followed by New Zealand and Korea at the third. So Korea is at the top in Asia. Let's look at how other countries responded during this period. Except for Switzerland, the safest countries had to stop all the function and movements, and for at least 1 month to at most 3 months, people had to be disconnected. It means the functions of the city had stopped. But Seoul did not implement a full lockdown. We didn't close down the city. Reuters and global media focused on K-quarantine because of its smart city infrastructure and cooperation with private sector to develop test kits. Then how is Seoul able to maintain its city function unlike other cities? We have 10 million citizens in Seoul and 20 million in the metropolitan area, but they were able to maintain the function thanks to mature community and a sophisticated infrastructure not requiring contact. And this was also possible thanks to based on mature citizen democracy. Voluntary actions took place, and government actions also gained trust, creating a synergy effect. Connection is the second indicator. How was Seoul able to maintain its communication with the world? I have analyzed the articles of world's major media outlets on Seoul in 2020. Articles on K-quarantine and K-pop topped the charts. Not only these two materials take importance, but the different view on Korea and Seoul is very crucial here. Innovation, surprise, new capabilities were at the headlines. And Seoul has been maintaining cooperation regarding COVID response with 40 plus cities around the world. And Seoul has been taking the initiative in these activities. During the pandemic, Korea's professional baseball was broadcast on ESPN, the world's top sports channel, and K-pop led by BTS garnered success with online concerts. And SM's online platform helped maintain connection between K-pop and global fans. The world closed borders, but movement of goods and trade did not stop in Seoul and Korea. Of course, cargo transport between major airports in Seoul has remained uninterrupted, and port operation is sustained at 90% of ordinary times. Investment did not stop as well. Despite the global economic crisis, foreign investment in Seoul continues. Except for investment from Europe, where damages from COVID with severe investment remain solid. Thanks to connection in culture, sports, and academia, we have maintained growth in trade and investment. So I believe Seoul will be able to secure competence to overcome COVID and prepare for post-COVID era. The third indicator is resilience. When we face the post-COVID era, we need to be able to restore the functions of the city rapidly. Korea has been touted as one of the countries least hit by COVID, especially in Asia, which means that we can recover faster. Currently, Seoul has been moving away from short-term development and growth towards long-term and balanced growth. We have set a basic plan on the sustainable development in 2015 and made efforts to strike a balance between growth in environment, society, culture, and economy. Many targets we have already attained 90%, and we have made efforts to create Seoul that is able to respond to environmental changes with 17 new targets. And Seoul also has been nurturing human resources for the future. For the youth that will lead the future, we have been investing in spaces. We have created spaces dedicated for the youth so that they could enjoy the opportunity of growth. Seoul has also focused on non-Koreans. For the past decade, the number of foreigners living in Seoul has been continuously rising. Nationality, jobs, and their place of residence differs, and Seoul has built the Seoul Global Center to support their lifestyle. And we have been also hiring foreign public servants to meet the needs of multicultural families in Seoul. Based on the fundamentals that helped us effectively overcome COVID, we have been continuously making investments and creating spaces for the youth and multinational families and non-Koreans, which are contributing to strengthening our resilience. These were my evaluation for the 3 indicators. Let me now talk about the challenges of Seoul and role of cities in post-COVID era. So Seoul has been making efforts to cooperate for global economy and climate change, and connection between loved ones has been disconnected or limited. It's a world without soft power due to disconnection, where only hard powers are clashing with each other. So in this era, scarce of soft power, the important roles will be played by cities that are the community of citizens. We need to have cities collaborating to restore soft power. In a time where the role of cities is expected to gain importance, Seoul is ready to hold events, connect, and restore. We are already prepared. Opportunities from crisis, if they can be utilized, and if Seoul could play a leading role in the coalition of world cities, the brand of Seoul will hold a new place in the hearts of not only residents and visitors, but also people around the world. I hope the Seoul brand could be loved by global citizens, respected, and shared through further growth. Thank you.